What can be in store for me? Either something wonderful and magnificent, or everything might collapse in an instant into the ordinary routine of the civilian life which ordinary sinners live. Of course, what I want is to live, if only a little, but a wild and interesting life. The hour will soon come when we shall soar on the wings of hawks, and the life we live will be very different. Lydia, Litvyak. World War II was fought on a scale unlike anything before or since in human history, and the unfathomable casualty counts are attributable in large measure to the carnage inflicted between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union during Hitler's invasion of Russia and Stalin's desperate defense. The invasion came in 1941, following a non-aggression pact signed between the two in 1939, which allowed Hitler to focus his attention on the West without having to worry about an attack from the Eastern Front. While Germany was focusing on the West, the Soviet Union sent large contingents of troops to the border region between the two countries, and Stalin's plan to take territory in Poland and the Baltic states angered Hitler. By 1940, Hitler viewed Stalin as a major threat and had made the decision to invade Russia. In the course of this contest, Russia must be disposed of, spring 1941. The quicker we smash Russia, the better. The surprise achieved by the German invasion in 1941 allowed their armies to advance rapidly across an incredibly wide front. But once winter set in, the two sides had to dig in and brace for German sieges of Russian cities. In the spring of 1942, Germany once more made inroads towards Stalingrad, Stalin's own pet city. Not surprisingly, he ordered that it be held no matter what. There was more than vanity at stake, though. Stalingrad was all that stood between Hitler and Moscow. It also was the last major obstacle to the Russian oil fields in the Caucasus, which Stalin needed and Hitler coveted. If the city fell, so would the rest of the country, and Hitler would have an invaluable resource to fuel his armies. Stalin chose his best general, Marshal Georgy Zhukov, to lead the more than 1 million soldiers who would stand between Germany and the precious city. Stalin made sure that they were continually supplied with every sort of military paraphernalia available, from tanks to aircraft to guns and ammunition. Zhukov, who had never been defeated, held the line until November 19th, when Stalin ordered him to attack the now weary Germans. In a carefully planned pincer maneuver, the Soviet armies attacked from both the north and the south, carefully encircling the German troops until the German general, Friedrich Paulus, begged Hitler to allow him to withdraw. But by then the Führer was obsessed with capturing the city that he refused his general's pleas, so the Germans attempted to hold on, losing thousands of additional men without taking the city. When the remains of the German Sixth Army finally surrendered in February 1943, they had lost about 1.5 million men and over 6,000 tanks and aircraft in a little more than 5 months of fighting. The Soviets lost a staggering number as well, with estimates of over 1 million casualties. Altogether, the Battle of Stalingrad was the deadliest battle in the history of warfare, and the Soviets' decisive victory there is considered one of the biggest turning points in the entire war, and certainly in the European theater. Over the next 2 years, the German gains in Russia were steadily reversed, and the Red Army eventually began pushing west towards Berlin. Fittingly, the importance of Stalingrad was commemorated in several ways, from Churchill presenting Stalin with the Sword of Stalingrad, to the Russians' decision not to rebuild parts of the battle-scarred city as a reminder of what happened there. Of course, Stalingrad was not simply fought on the ground, because by the time World War II arrived, the fighter airplane appeared as a much different beast than the purpose-built aircraft hunting machines of 1917 and 1918. Though propellers still provided motive force, greatly increased engine power allowed these aircraft to slice through the sky at speeds of 200 miles per hour, 300 miles per hour, or even in excess of 400 miles per hour when flying flat out. Service ceilings jumped to 25,000 feet, 30,000 feet, or higher, altitudes unthinkable to World War I's aviators. While engineering and research and development began working scientifically to shave time off the climb rate and address a host of other problems and possibilities. Nonetheless, concepts of gender norms remained traditional even as technology advanced, and even though hundreds of women made their mark in early aviation, setting records and firsts in numerous categories.